Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Today, as it tends to be, is an exciting day, and today is particularly exciting because we are back to my favorite band, BABYMETAL, with their song Metal Kingdom. This released last month, and I waited a little bit to see if we'd get a music video with it, which we fortunately did, so very, very happy and very excited about that. I mean, this is, I'm sure, going to be an absolute banger. A little late to this one just because, you know, a bit of illness and so on and so forth, some complications arose, but, I mean, very exciting stuff. You know, honestly, I was making a point there, and I do not know what point I was making at the end there. I completely lost it. So let's just hop into it. So, starting off, I should say this is, like, actual live footage of this. Very cool. I should make sure resolution is high, because I actually want to see this in semi-good resolution. There's some electronics here, sort of a weird sort of electronic symphonic mix. I'm really liking it. A lot of energy coming in. Okay, so here's the bit I've heard from this and the little snippets they released. No idea what's gonna happen beyond this though. But man, looks like amazing live performance right off the bat. Just fantastic vocals. Interesting if the throne made up of looks like sort of, and also the kitsune symbol. That's just a cool little detail there. Alright, backing vocals there, provided of course by Moa. Very nice. Getting that metal in, some real Metal Galaxy sounds with this. Absolute banger. There's still a little bit of electronics there in the background. Nice. Fantastic backing vocals there. Okay, nice guitar there. Got some real... There's some real heaviness coming in with that guitar. Like, there's some... You know, a hint of what could be, I suppose. Great to really hear a bit more Moa's vocals in this one. There's absolute banger. Some more of the symphonic element kicking back in. Building up into something, I think. Oh, fantastic vocals. Oh, some amazing drumming there. Okay. A little slower here with the music, or not just slower, more, stripped down, something along those lines. I'm back into the main stuff now. That's nice. I love how songs like that will have that little, sort of rest in a sense. Has the final section to have so much more punch, you know. I thought that once I just build it up into something a bit more. Would have loved a proper breakdown or something. Okay, interesting in there. I honestly, I think they could have built off of that and a tiny bit more. You know, had your guitar do something a little more. But yeah, really good song. Really good song. Monochrome is still my favorite off of the album so far, just because, you know, the lyrics have some really good stuff. I'm of course heavily biased towards that, but I would say this is probably like. Just on the purely musical level, this is probably the best one I've heard so far. Honestly, that's some heavy bias there as well, because it really reminded me of my favorite album from them, Metal Galaxy. But yeah, fantastic track. But it is lyrical analysis time. Now, it took some digging to find you know, an actual translation of this, because there's not one, like, easy to find out there. Someone in the Baby Metal, I think the r/BabyMetal Discord server was able to send me a one on Google Sheets that someone had made. I'm not seeing the name of the person who did this here, but I'll edit it on screen to give them some credit. But you know, major props to them for getting a translation of this out, just so I can talk about the lyrics. And this is, from what I'm seeing, the opening track on the album, which musically makes sense. This feels like a great sort of album opener, you know? But beyond that, lyrically, I think this is really setting the stage for the story. And sort of putting out there a lot of stuff that we're going to be seeing throughout the album. Starting to, with this one, I was really able to make some connections with the other stuff and start to piece together what's happening. And I still think this is very much going to be, lore-wise with the album, I think this is very much going to be something that's not incredibly clear, right? It's not going to be like a set-in-stone story, but, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of themes throughout that we can piece together, and with this track, I'm starting to be able to get that, because we've got a lot of connections to other stuff. So, I'll just hop into talking about a few specifics. So, the scroll wheel on my mouse is broken, so anytime I try to go up, it does not like to work. I believe this is the beginning. It should be the beginning. In the times that pass away, in this world that collapses, that should not be so hard to say. Bewilderedly, we are living. Okay, then. So there is obviously some lore stuff going on there, but honestly, that just made me think of sort of going back to COVID when things went crazy, things started collapsing. You know, Baby Metal, of course, had to kind of put things on hold for a little while because of that, as did a lot of bands and a lot of groups. And there was, in a sense, some confusion there. I don't know if that's, you know, specifically referencing that, but that's sort of the idea I get there. And I think that's setting the stage here, that, you know, this album perhaps was spawned from that sort of I don't know, in a sense, the emotional state we were in during COVID is sort of where this album takes place at the beginning, something along those lines, right? I'm sure there's some weird artistic thing I could put together with this. But then will you stop doing this, Mouse? The next thing, with embracing till dawn, our hearts hovering in the dark, we aim for tomorrow at that place full of lights. And that really made me think of Monochrome, right? Of course, I've got too many tabs open. It's not even that many tabs. But we aim for tomorrow at that place full of lights. If I can find the line in Monochrome, now here we go, no matter how long the night, the morning will arrive. Along with, to a lesser extent, what color can we imagine the night sky, right? So just a loose little connection there, but then one that's a little more concrete, I suppose, with embracing till dawn, which I'm honestly not sure how good of a translation that is. It's some weird grammar, but I will trust the person who did this. In verse 2 of Monochrome, being drenched by the rain and freezing in the night, I want to be by your side even just for a little while, the warmth I want to feel until tomorrow. And, yeah, again, I'm embracing till dawn, very clear connection there. Then there's a few connections to Divine Attack that we have in the chorus. I think that's the chorus. Y'all are gonna have to bear with me for this one. I am dead tired, and this is split up well, but it's not labeled which section is which, so I am going to get confused. But I believe this is the chorus. The line, or make it your own freedom, light the signify and proceed without hesitation, while believing your friends. And then in the verse after that, words of regret or ways to retreat that you don't need anymore. Really makes me think of Divine Attack, especially the chorus. The time has come, stand up, continue to imagine tomorrow, it's time to go your way, finish this open road. And other lines, even short-lived destiny goes against your desire, things like that. Just there's this idea of, continuing down this path. I went in depth into that in my review of Divine Attack. I think there's some similar ideas here of, going down this path you've put yourself on, going on this grand journey, this quest in a sense. And then there's in the pre-chorus, raise your hands to the Lord, raise your voice to the world, raise your flag, and you be together. Perhaps the Lord is the fox god, right? Could be something else lore-wise, but this kind of reminds me of, it's not like a specific concrete line, but it kind of reminds me of some of the other stuff they've done in the past related to the one, And then that's honestly what I think the kingdom is here, is, in a sense, the one. It's sort of this place for us to come together under, the sort of the banner of baby metal, in a sense, and be together, or something along those lines. It's a thought I have in my head that I'll have to wait for more stuff off of the album to make this a bit more concrete, but I do think there's something along those lines happening with this song, right? And so that is... the thing I really like about this is, on its own, it's just a good song lyrically, right? There's some good stuff in here, but it has connections to the other stuff, which really works well as sort of an opening to an album, sort of setting the stage, right? I don't know if there's going to be any further connections to other songs. I imagine there will be, but the only true answer I can give to whether or not that will be the case is a bit of a classic baby metal answer, and that is, of course, only the fox god knows. But, overall, some fantastic lyricism in this one. Of course, I am heavily biased towards Monochrome. I think that's the best lyricism I've heard from baby metal. And this, it isn't anything too crazy, right? They aren't doing anything too new with this one, but I think it's some solid stuff in here. I think there's some good points to make, even if there's not a lot I can really dive into right now again, because I don't know the whole story being told on the album. But yeah, great lyrics on this track. Now to talk about the music, which is, oh, I mean, it's fantastic. Like I said, reminded me a lot of Metal Galaxy. I mean, you could have put this on that album, and I would not have questioned it at all. This is fantastic track. Starting off with the vocals, I mean, Stu Metal's vocals were amazing, of course. There's that one spot, God, I hope this is actually a thing that happened in the song and not my mind playing tricks on me. Sort of like there's a higher, longer note that she held. That was amazing. But just the vocals throughout, I mean, just fantastic. Honestly, the best we've heard off of this so far. So far. Divine Attack had some good stuff, but there was some slight vocal distortion, some slight auto-tune that I actually worked with the song, right? I think it fit the sound, but it wasn't quite there for me. And Monochrome, honestly, I think it just could have been a little better. Not too much, nothing against the vocals, it was like, they could have been a little better. These ones, exactly the kind of vocals I love from Babymetal, so just great to hear. And then we got some vocals from Moa, of course, sort of the, I don't know what the word is, sort of just the vocalization, the wordless vocalization. I'd attempt to do it, but I've forgotten the tune, so I won't make a fool of myself by doing that. That was fantastic, and then, her vocals during the pre-chorus as well were fantastic. Great to really hear her a bit more than we have in some of the previous Babymetal stuff off of this album and off of Metal Galaxy. Great to hear her vocals come forth a bit more, so I was very pleased with that. So yeah, vocals in this one, fantastic, easily the best off of the album so far. Guitar wasn't utilized as heavily as I think it could have been, right? There's that one section where there's the build-up. I think they could have gone into some great, like, guitar solo or breakdown or something like that. And at the end, I think they could have done a bit more instead of just like sort of 2 notes. I think they could have gone a bit further with that, had a longer outro. But, I mean, what we got with the guitar was fantastic. Great tone, really reminded me of some of the stuff off of Metal Galaxy, like I keep saying. Just with the guitar, sort of the tone of it reminded me a bit of Starlight, I think it was. It's either Starlight or Shine. I can't grab which is which in my head right now. The heavier one of the two, the one that has the almost sort of metalcore sound. Hopefully you know the one I'm talking about. The one that doesn't have the acoustic opening. It reminded me a bit of that. Reminded me a bit of the guitar in Shanty 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 as well. I really liked the guitar in this. Something moved. I don't know what. Again, I think the guitar could have been utilized a bit more heavily, but what we got with the guitar was really nice. So, no real complaints, just some stuff that I would have liked to see some more with it, but we didn't necessarily need to see more with it, I think is a way to phrase that. The bass, sadly, not very apparent in this one. It's stood out, at least to a certain extent. I could sort of feel it in the previous tracks off of this one, Divine Attack, more so than Monochrome. This one, honestly, just did not notice it, unfortunately. I'm sure it was good, but I did not hear it, so I cannot comment on it. The drums were fantastic. There's that one part, it's like, whoa, that went crazy, but throughout it, nothing stood out to me too much, but just some solid drums in this, right? They did exactly what they needed to. I didn't notice anything aside from that one where it was like, whoa, that's some really good stuff, but it was just some really good drumming, So yeah, that was great. And then we had the electronic stuff, and a slight hint of some symphonic elements as well. Oh, loved that. Great energy to that. It was something that it started off a bit slow, and then we got more and more energy coming in before we really went into the full force of the song. And I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was wonderfully executed. So yeah, I mean, that stuff, not too much to say on it again, but I really liked it. That honestly, musically, probably my favorite part of the song, outside of the vocals, of course. Yeah, that was some really good stuff. So all in all, easily the best song off of this so far in terms of the music. Monochrome, like I said, still my favorite, really, just because of my bias towards the really strong lyricism in that one and the theming in that one. Which makes sense given my interest in history. But this one, well, it doesn't claim the crown, which is ironic given the title of it, Metal Kingdom. It's pretty dang close, and unfortunately means that so far Divine Attack is definitely the worst of the three, which does not mean much, because still an absolute banger. But yeah, fantastic song, and I would not be surprised at all if this ends up being one of my favorites on the album as a whole, just because of how much it reminded me of my favorite BABYMETAL album, Metal Galaxy. Again, like I keep saying, oh, just fantastic, and I just gotta talk about the live performance real quick. Well, it would have been nice to, have it over like a proper dance with that, get BABYMETAL just have some really cool choreography and everything. I thought what we had here was really interesting. I can assume this was, I don't know the set list for the concerts, but I can assume this was like an opener. This had big sort of opener energy, right? And if so, oh, fantastic way to set the stage. Reminds me a bit of some of the stuff I've seen him do with Road of Resistance, I think it is. I think that's it. It's the one where they have the flags that they carry around. I think that's Road of Resistance. It kind of reminded me of that. I mean, the sort of set design in a sense for the stage, the weird staff things, the outfits all super cool. Just I love just the sort of live aesthetic that BABYMETAL have. It is just so cool. So not too much to say on that, because that's really not much I can talk about. I'm much more a music guy than a choreography guy, that kind of thing. But always have to point it out with BABYMETAL, it was some fantastic stuff. So yeah, all in all, amazing song. Very glad to have finally gone into this one. But I really don't have anything more to say on the music, so it is time to choose the next reaction. We have a lot on the list. I'm doing the picker wheel full screen this time, because the ad that goes across the bottom of the screen can no longer be closed out, so that's goofy. But there's a couple, I say a couple, there's a lot of new releases on here that I really want to get to, some stuff that should be really interesting. So I'm very excited to see what we get next, so let's give it a spin and see what it gives us. Lorna Shore again. Lorna Shore 2. What one is that? I know Lorna Shore 1 on that list is Awaken, O Sleeping Dreamer. That one, I want to say it's like Apotheosis or something along those lines. I think that's the name of it, but I could be wrong. I'll go back to the YouTube video and take a look at the comment, of course, before I give it a listen. But yeah, nice to be back to some Lorna Shore. Would have liked to perhaps have one more artist in between, since the last reaction was Lorna Shore, but I will not complain about checking out another one of their songs. It is always some fantastic stuff, always a joy to check out. But that is going to do it for the reaction, so thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts of the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to the music video so you can go check it out, support the artist. Link to my BABYMETAL I'm struggling today, my BABYMETAL videos playlist, and my Japanese music playlist, and my rock and metal reactions playlist. So you can check out some similar content from me, and a link to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist for all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank y'all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.